All right, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about speed profiles because speed profiles on version 14.2.1 are, I think, actually worse than the speed profiles were on 14.1.4. So we still have Sloth all the way up to Mad Max, and they still presumably do somewhat of what they indicate that they would do. So Sloth is supposed to drive the speed limit. It seems to be pegged at whatever at least it thinks the speed limit is. And Mad Max will go basically usually as fast as it sees as reasonable for the road conditions and traffic conditions. So it seems that they actually kind of toned it down a little bit, because now when I go into Mad Max, it will not go more than, in fact, it seemed like 15 over was the most it would do, but that's 15 over what it thinks the speed limit is. So I have a problem out in front of our neighborhood where it thinks that the speed limit is 30 miles per hour. It's actually 45 miles per hour. So before, on version 14.1.4, it actually, if you put it on Mad Max, it would go up to 50 miles per hour. And that was actually an appropriate speed for a 45 mile per hour zone. And actually right now, I'm going to put it in, I'm putting it in Mad Max right now, and it just seems stuck at 30. I don't know if it's because it's a construction zone. There are these barrels. I'm pressing the accelerator, so I mean, it's got to step on it. Like let's not go ridiculously slow. The people behind us not happy right now. It's another Tesla, and they're probably manually driving, so they have no idea what it's like to actually be driving on FSD. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if we can tell. I can't tell. He's turning now, but pretty sure he was on manually driving. So anyway, the speed profiles now on even Mad Max, it doesn't seem to do the job. So we've really, that is going to be the next big thing, in my opinion, for 14.2 and beyond. The biggest thing that it appears that needs to be corrected at this point is definitely the speed profiles, because this affects me almost all the time. Every drive, I'm going to have some situation like on the interstate, or even like right outside my neighborhood, where the car, either by it just choosing like a lower speed because it doesn't know what the speed limit is, or using map data that is incorrect, whatever the case may be that it's doing for getting those speeds. I have that situation every day. Every drive that I take, pretty much, there's going to be a situation where I am on a street where FSD does not indicate or drive appropriately to what the speed is actually supposed to be on that street. So that's going to be something that basically I'm going to have to intervene every time. Either, before I could just turn up the speed profile to Mad Max, and it would go a 50 and a 45, and that was actually safe, because most of the people driving on that street unfortunately go closer to 60. They go 55, 60 miles per hour very frequently, and it's coming over a hill when I get out of that point in my neighborhood, so it's actually kind of dangerous to be going 30 miles per hour. Additionally, when I put it in standard, it didn't seem to want to go more than what it thought the speed limit was. So there was a few times when it would go about 5 miles per hour over the speed limit, but then there's been a lot of times, even on this drive right here, where the speed limit, it just goes to the speed limit in standard. That was interesting. Those people just kind of drove. I mean, it's a very shallow median, but they definitely just drove right over that. That's pretty funny. It's only like an inch or two. It's got kind of like a rounded off lip. So, but it is painted yellow. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like, don't drive over that median. I mean, manual drivers, hey, they're actually, I think on average, manual drivers are much worse than FSD. So we're definitely going the right direction. And this is obviously just a rant video talking about speed profiles. And it's kind of a minor thing because I can obviously easily change it, and I do trust that it's going to avoid hitting people or getting in the way of people. So it's going to take care of it. It's not going to get in an accident. However, like, if I'm responsible for the drive, like if Tesla's not going to pay my speeding ticket, if it's not going the correct speed, then I got to take control. I got to change the speed for it. So that means I have to supervise it. And if it still has to be supervised because of those speed situations, just the speed profiles, and I'm telling you, it's like on every drive, then that means, although I really want us to be really close to unsupervised, at this point, I actually don't see how they could get to unsupervised anytime soon. Although maybe they do have, it's a little more lax on how closely you have to supervise it or monitor it. I have to do some testing on that, I guess, because I actually haven't noticed it have any problems with me. Let's see. If I look at the, I'm going to look at the screen here. Not looking at the road, I'm looking at the screen. I mean, the road's in my peripheral, so I can kind of see it. Okay, it says please pay attention to the road. Okay, so I pay attention to the road. I don't know. That seems about the same amount of time. I don't notice anything that was maybe 30 seconds or something, maybe less. That it could see, because it was eye tracking, that I was not looking at the road, I was looking at the screen. But I don't see how we get to really any unsupervised without them solving for some of these few things. So Elon did indicate that some big missing piece of the puzzle was coming in with 14.3. I don't know what that is, but at this point I'm starting to feel like it needs to be like HD maps or something, where it actually knows what the speed limit is on all the streets all the times. Because when it doesn't know the speed limit, it's going to be a problem with the speed profiles. So, okay, I know this is just a small rant on what I dislike about my car that can basically drive me around everywhere now without any interaction. I just tell it where I want to go, and it pretty much goes. The only thing that I have to do is maybe change what speed it's going. So yeah, I get it. I mean, this definitely, first world problems here, but whatever. It's still something that I would like fixed on FSD. So I hope that Tesla figures out these speed profiles. And there's some other small edge cases, I'm sure. Like, it didn't do a very good job at parking in the parking garage. It just couldn't seem to. I couldn't seem to get it to park in the parking garage when it was supposed to. So that was weird. And I'm sure there's still some things like I need to find some location where there's the chain across the road to see if it will detect a chain, but I'm guessing it probably doesn't. So there's small edge cases all over the place. This March of Nines, as they call it. So it still can't be unsupervised. And I think that if it had HD maps in an area, so if you had your car in the Austin area where they went around and they validated the whole area in order to geofence where the robotaxis can go. I mean, maybe you can get unsupervised anywhere within the geofence of that robotaxi area. And so what they need to do is just go around and validate the area, and then I don't know, maybe that's what they need. But that's kind of goes, that's backwards from what the whole process has been. It's been, we don't need HD maps because it's going to see so well that it's not going to need that. So I don't know, which is it for these speed profiles? That's a good question. and we will have to see what they do to make it work properly. So anyway, rant over. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.